My little stepson, Leo, he's just started foiling. The videos are there on YouTube, you can see them. He's not a surfer, he doesn't surf, he doesn't go out more than knee deep in the ocean. This is his flat water pump foil board. Okay, and you can watch his progression there on those videos, and it's been amazing to see how easy it is for kids to start this foiling journey. And I think it's going to become a big thing with foiling. The kids are loving it, and it's so easy in flat water. You can see in the videos there, we're just using a run-of-the-mill red paddle touring sup. It's 12'6". We're running on jumping off it. This board is really tiny, and I have to keep checking the dimensions here because I'm still batting to get it in my head. It's 2'11". Okay, that's 87 centimeters. I mean, it's just short of 3/4 of a 150 twin tip, and this is a twin tip. But that's all it's taken to pump foil for a child. The board only just floats, which is not ideal. So the board we're going to build is going to have some volume, so that you can pull the person up with a rope. I tried to pull Leo up with a rope on this last night, just so you could actually foil like being pulled behind a boat. But you know, to break free of the water resistance with a no volume twin tip like this is not ideal. On that other board of mine, it's no problem. If I put him on that, I can walk and he can come up onto foil. But this, obviously you're trying to pull it out the water, and it's a bit hard. He has to hold a lot more power on the rope, and he's not used to that. But yeah, for children, this is the board. You know, for children like Leo, he's 9 years old. I don't know what he weighs, 30 something or 40. This is the board. You don't need more board than this for them to pump foil, and in fact this would be the board with volume that he would surf foil on. So it's amazing. It blows my mind, you know, what this foiling thing is doing. Also, for what it's worth, the ocean's more buoyant than fresh water. So pump foiling in fresh water, dams and lakes, remember, it's not as buoyant, so you will upsize your wing to deal with the less buoyant water. Now, what has happened here with Invader foils is a very unique thing. It's a wing that you can both kite foil and that you can surf foil on. This is not how they finish their products. This is all prototype stuff. This is a very old fuselage. This is all finished and beautiful anodized. It's all one thing. You know, they give it to you the way you expect it. The construction of this aluminium fuselage, plain and simple, hybrid polyurethane carbon, 3 nut bolt setups like that, countersunk that side. It's super easy. It's super durable. Now, you're riding a carbon wing setup, you got to look after it. These ones here, we look after them, but we don't pay them too much attention. And when you really get into your foiling and you start riding closer to the beach and sort of stuff, and you start doing flat water foiling, there's always something there where you're jumping off into the water and you're going to hit stuff. And I've been up the rocks at Sinquazi. You know, this is going to survive. Kiting it, you know, going through sandbanks and all of that stuff. So super durable product. They're making them in 3 different sizes. Specifically with Invader Foil product, this step that they have in their wing here, that runs right through the whole wing, obviously. What this step is doing is allowing you to have a very thin wing, but yet have a high lift. The thin wing only has advantages. If you can have speed and lift, you really got a great thing. And this has come very close to that. This shape is the same throughout their range. So if you've got the original kite wing, the medium surf wing, that was the first surfing one that came out, or this one, they all hold the same shape. So, and plan shape. So changing from the different wings, the feel is the same. You're not going from something that's like kite specific now to something that's surf specific to something that's race specific. That's not how their wings change. Their wings are all the same. So the feel is the same, and that's what you want. You don't want to have to relearn every time you change wings. So what they've done here is making the interchangeability of the wings much easier, because you want to change for different conditions. And You know, when I ride a bigger wave, I want to go faster, I'm going to put on the smaller surf wing. The interchangeable setup on hydrofoiling is the way you want to go. When you're stuck with one thing, you're just limiting yourself. You want to be able to change this, make it bigger or smaller. You want to be able to change that, make it bigger or smaller. And you definitely want to change this all the time, per session even, you know, different changing conditions. You want to be fiddling around as much as you can because it makes a huge difference. We are now karting our surf wings, and it's a revolution in itself, being able to kart a large wing like this, which is essentially was designed for surfing, but it's working so well for karting because you can come down almost 2 sizes in your kart. I can go out with my 7 square meter on this. Remember, I'm heavy again. I can go out in 20 knots and I'm foiling. And the beauty of that sort of foiling is that when there's a lull, and that happens here all the time inland, when there's a lull in your wind, you can take over and pump foil. So instead of standing there knee deep in the water doing loops with your kart to keep the thing flying, you pump through the lulls in the wind. So that's been a major breakthrough in inland karting. What you need to be careful of is we're all desperate to pump foil, you know, because that's the thing that's partly making the sport so amazing, and to the point that it's been taken to flat water now, and guys are having fun just flat water foiling away from waves and everything. With a different discipline comes different gear, and that's what you need to remember, is especially for the heavier riders. Again, lighter riders, children, ladies, whatever, you know, in that low weight range, you know, your 70 kgs less or thereabout, they get away with a wing that works for surf foiling. Heavier riders don't. The heavier riders need to use a really big surf wing, if you can find one, or a downwind wing. You now take a wing from that genre and you try and bring it into your surfing, it comes with issues. A wing that has the potential to pump foil is not an easy wing to learn to surf on. And where I failed in my journey was that I was trying to do both at the same time. I had a board that could pump foil, I had a wing that could pump foil, and I tried to combine the two. And for a long time, I'm talking a lot of wasted weekends essentially, I failed to surf foil. So I was out to surf foil, but I wanted too much out of the experience and failed all around. Pump foiling is a very specific discipline of foiling. And having the two merge in your surf foiling is a special thing, and it works. It happens easier with lighter riders. Us heavier riders need to learn to get the technique right. So choose one thing, do one thing at a time. Learn to ride a small board with a medium wing. Once you get your medium wing under control and you want to start going for pump foiling, then upscale to a bigger wing. And you'll then have the control in your surfing to be able to deal with the big wing on takeoff. That's where all the issues come in with the big wing with surf foiling. It's a lot of energy that suddenly comes on you as you catch the wave. And if you're not ready for it, you just get bucked off time and time again. I mean, if I just want to have a good day surfing and I decide, no, I'm done with the pumping, I just want to ride waves and have more fun, I don't use this big wing. I use the medium wing, and it's a game changer. I mean, you can be a lot braver, your turns are a lot easier, you can go for it. Your takeoffs are almost every time you're getting a 10 out of 10. You can still pump. You know, when you're riding a wave and you've got that momentum behind, you always remember that it pushes you and you can pump. In my first 2 videos, I've very much slayed the surfing stance. I have now come full circle and realized that the surfing stance does work on these shorter boards, and once you're out of the learning curve. The reason it works is not so much that your center of gravity is down, because remember, you're so high above the water when you're in the air, that doesn't really apply. When you start doing turns, if you're standing up dead straight and you want to now do banked turns, if you don't have that surf stance, you tend to just fall off because the G-force is hectic. If you look at all the guys who are really foiling well, they all have that sort of surf stance. Some more than others. Some only have the surf stance and have somehow managed to cope with it. Some just hack around and kind of fiddle around and somehow are lucky, I think. But good foilers with good technique, you know, they definitely combining a vertical surf stance, if you can put it like that, and that's helped.